omnibus bill. I want to note that just to set expectations appropriately, that this bill is fairly aspirational. There were no budget targets this year, so we're sending our entire ask over to the Finance Committee, but it will likely be whittled down substantially from there. With that, we proceed to the A1 delete all amendment. Fiscal Analyst Erica Bird will walk through the contents of the bill. Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, committee members. Before you, you should have a spreadsheet, and it's titled 2026 Supplemental Budget, Senate File 4638, as amended by the A1 Delete Everything Amendment. And I will walk through each line item on this with you and relate it back to its location in the bill. So starting on line 3 of the spreadsheet, you have the state grant program, which is Senate File 4638, as introduced by Senator Fateh. And that has an appropriation, a one-time appropriation of $131 million in fiscal year 2027. That's a one-time appropriation and is from Article 1, Section 1, Subdivision 3 of your bill. In the next line item is line item 4, which relates to the Minitex program, and that is from Senate File 2729. And that is a $1,500,000 appropriation starting in 2027, and it continues with tails in 28 and 29 at the same amount. Next, on line 5 of the spreadsheet, and that is also Article 1, Section 1, Subdivision 3 of the bill, is the Direct Admissions Minnesota program appropriation, and that relates to Senate File 1474 as amended by Senator Gustafson. I will also note that this is, there's a policy element in Article 2, Section 1, and this would require all school districts and charter schools to participate in the direct admission program unless exempted. And related to that policy, there is a cost of $253,000 a year, which is appropriated in fiscal year 2027 and is ongoing. Next, on line 7 of the spreadsheet is the Minnesota P20 Educational Partnership Appropriation. This is a general fund appropriation of $1,060,000 beginning in fiscal year 2027, and it is ongoing. This relates to Senate File 4481 by Senator Umar Verbatim. Next is the Student Persistent Grant Program on line 8. That relates to Senate File 2330. That is a one-time general fund direct appropriation in 2027. This is a new appropriation, and it's for one time. That also shows up in Article 2, Section 3, which is the policy section of the bill, and it describes the various grant requirements. And then we'll jump down to the University of Minnesota appropriations, which begin on line 13. First is the farmer lender mediation appropriation related to hiring of one full-time employee. That is Senate File 3584 by Senator Putnam. This is a $150,000 one-time appropriation, and let's see. And then, okay, on line 14, there is another Farmer Lender Mediation Act element. This relates to Senate File 3583, which is a policy element that extends the Farmer Lender Mediation Act, which was set to expire in law in June 30th, 2027, and it extends it to June 30th, 2032. And so the cost of that is represented in brackets because it doesn't actually change the forecasted budget at all. It instead extends the availability of $214,000 annually from the University of Minnesota extension appropriation to be spent until 2032. I will note that currently this farmer lender mediation is funded through the larger appropriation to the University of Minnesota Extension. So that's why it shows up that way. And so that results in the net spending you see at the bottom of $1,863,000 in 2027, and then in the tails you have $2,813,000 in 2028 and 2029. So that is my walkthrough, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you so much for that walkthrough. Previously, I did not move the bill, so I move Senate File 4638, and Senator Putnam moves the A1. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? The amendment is adopted. And so we'll go now through our testifier list. First, we have Maxwell Field. Welcome. Please introduce yourself for the record, and you may begin.
Alrighty. My name is Maxwell Field. I am a student at the University of Minnesota. Thank you so much for having me here today. I live in Minneapolis. I was born in St. Paul, and I was raised in a town in northwestern Minnesota called Twin Valley, a town of 700, closer to Winnipeg than St. Paul, which is always fun to mention. And in greater Minnesota and the metro alike, the impact that state grants have on helping students get into college and go through college is hard to overstate. I earned my associate's degree at Minnesota State Community and Technical College in Moorhead, Minnesota, through the dual enrollment program. And when I was over there, I was the student government president. In that role, I got to see really truly what the student body was going through and how impactful state grants are on people going through the process. And first and foremost, you know, I know that certain demographics such as first-gen students, students from low-income backgrounds, and non-traditional students as well, like these people need the support, and they are getting it through state grants. So that's key. And then I know personally here, coming from a working-class family of 9, again in northern Minnesota, it was logistically challenging to go to the U of M from there, but it would have been financially impossible if it wasn't for the state grant program. So with that, you know, again, the high cost of living, the barriers to those that are pursuing rent, you know, they all make it so that now is a very, very important time to support students when they are pursuing higher education and working daily to help the people of our state and economy. So with that, I would definitely say this funding would be incredibly consequential in supporting Minnesotans as they're studying so they can give back to our state's people and our economy. And with that, I strongly encourage you to vote yes on Senate File 4638. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your testimony. I appreciate you coming out. Next up, we have Josh Crossan from Ed Allies. Welcome. Please introduce yourself for the record, and you may proceed.
Thank you so much, Chair Fateh. Members of the committee, thank you for having me here to testify today. My name is Josh Crossan. I am the Executive Director of Ed Allies. We are a student-centered education policy advocacy organization. Every piece of our work that we do is grounded in one question: are students getting what they need to build better futures that they deserve? I'm here today to voice support for the direct admissions provisions in the Omnibus bill. Jennifer Ring is a high school counselor in the Minnewaska district in western Minnesota. She works with students every day who are talented and capable, but who carry a quiet yet persistent worry that they might not be, quote, college material. She describes what direct admissions does for students in plain terms. Quote, it gives a kid a letter that says, if you were to apply, these are the schools that would accept you today. Jennifer says that single piece of information takes the worry out of students' minds. For a first-generation student, students in greater and rural Minnesota, students without full-time counselors in their building, that letter is not a small thing. It is the moment someone finally tells students that the door is open and they have the choice to walk through it. That is what this program does at its best. It hands students real information at the exact moment it matters the most. It gives them the freedom that they need to understand what options they have going into their senior year. It gives to understand what options they have going into their senior year. It gives them the flexibility they need to choose between four-year college, community college, workforce development, or something entirely different. And it gives them the confidence they need because their hard work is seen and recognized. The Office of Higher Education has tracked three things through direct admissions: whether more students are enrolling in college after high school, whether more students complete the FAFSA, and whether more Minnesota graduates stay in the state of Minnesota. And the answer to all three of those questions is a resounding yes. 19% of University of Minnesota Rochester applicants came in through direct admissions. Augsburg streamlined their admissions process for direct admission students, creating shorter applications. More kids are not only staying in Minnesota, but they're also staying in their hometowns and cities where they once didn't realize that options existed. This program is producing real results, and it is doing so for the students who need those results the most. Ed Allies also conducted some research around what is happening, where the gaps are with direct admissions. And in some districts, students are already receiving these letters, about a third of our districts. In other districts, students are graduating without knowing any of the opportunities that exist. This gap is rarely the result of deliberate choices made by school leaders. In most cases, it is simply a knowledge gap. Many school leaders we speak with are just not aware that this program exists. This bill closes that gap by making participation the default so that schools opt out rather than opt in. The result is a fair system where a student's access to opportunity is determined not by their zip code or their background, but by their abilities and their potential. Anything less is something that we just cannot accept. Is this a mandate? Absolutely not. School boards retain full authority to adopt a written resolution to opt out of this program. I've served on school boards, and there's a list of opt-in, opt-out provisions, and this will add to that list of choosing whether or not to go into the program or not go into the program. This policy simply says the starting point for every Minnesota student should be access to information, and that any departure from that starting point is a deliberate choice made by local school districts. The $253,000 appropriation funds the Office of Higher Education to administer this program well and extend it to every corner of the state. It's a modest investment with an outsized return. Every young person in the state deserves to graduate high school knowing what to do after. Not just the students whose schools have the resources to guide them, not just the students whose parents navigated colleges themselves, every single student. This bill moves us meaningfully closer to that reality. And I urge your support, and I welcome any questions. Thank you so much, Chair.
Thank you so much for your testimony. Is there any questions for our testifier before we move on? Seeing none, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Next up, we have President Paul Serkvinik. Welcome. Please introduce yourself for the record, and you may begin.
Chair Fateh and members of the committee, thank you for the opportunity to testify today. I'm Paul Serkvinik, and I serve as the president of the Minnesota Private College Council. On behalf of the state grant recipients at nonprofit colleges, I want to express gratitude and appreciation for the effort you are making in this bill to provide the funding that is critically needed to address the state grant deficit. 88,000 students at all types of institutions rely on and need a fully funded state grant program to succeed in earning a post-secondary degree or credential. This bill's approach to addressing the program shortfall will make a tremendous difference for these students. I know I can also speak on behalf of the student government leaders at our 18 nonprofit institutions. They have testified and written to you already this year. Although the timeline was tight today and it made it difficult for them to collectively assemble a letter of support, I know they are deeply grateful for the approach you're taking in this bill. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your testimony. Are there any questions for President Serkvinik? Seeing none, thank you so much for your testimony. I'll call up the next two testifiers together, B.G. Tucker and Alyssa Howells.
It's just me. I was flying back from DC. We weren't sure if I was going to make it.
Oh, okay, no worries. Thank you so much. Welcome, and introduce yourself on the record, and you may begin.
Thank you. B.G. Tucker, I'm the Executive Director of College Possible Minnesota. Thank you, Chair Fateh and members of the committee. I really appreciate the work reflected in this bill. We are specifically, and I am specifically grateful for the inclusion of the Student Persistence Grant Program in SF 4638. This bill continues vital investment in access and affordability. It reflects a clear commitment to ensuring more Minnesotans can pursue post-secondary education, persist through it, and ultimately obtain a college degree. Access is essential, and this bill maintains that foundation through state grants and direct admissions. However, this bill also takes a critical step forward by addressing persistence. It recognizes that getting into college is only the first step. By supporting students with targeted coaching and navigation assistance, we are ensuring that the state's investment in access results in degree attainment. This program is practical, a scalable way to bridge the gap between enrollment and graduation, and it does not duplicate existing services. Access and completion are part of the same continuum. Addressing both in one proposal makes the overall bill stronger. We respectfully support SF 4638 as amended. Thank you for your leadership in helping more Minnesotans not just start their post-secondary journey, but finish it. I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions from members? Seeing none?
Thank you all.
Thank you for coming back. Are there any comments or questions from members? Senator Duckworth.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. Just a couple. I know we've talked quite a bit about the state grant in particular over the course of committee meetings this session, so I won't rehash everything, I promise, unless Senator Putnam makes me. All that to say is, first and foremost, I applaud you for at least trying to do something regarding the state grant and trying to find some money to appropriate it, or at least in your bill, making a statement for it. A little disappointing to see what the governor put forward, essentially nothing for the state grant, the deficit there. And so at least this is attempting to do something. I look forward to the kind of the collaboration and back and forth between the House and the Senate to see ultimately what we can do to cover that gap and try to help these students and families. I promise not to rehash anything, so I won't, other than to say continuing to make it a priority and finding a sound fiscal way to fill that gap and make sure it's not a recurring problem, I think is important for the state, for our students, for higher education in general. And so I appreciate the fact that we're able to have the conversation here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator Duckworth, and I appreciate your comments on that. We worked really hard last year to make some really painful decisions around what levers to pull and what adjustments to make with the other body. I do not want to see us do any more damage by further rationing. I think the students are already burdening a lot of the financial responsibility, and more harm will mean that we will see a reversal in some of the progress that we've made. I might be open to some suggestions, like excluding St. John's, maybe. But we'll keep that conversation going. Senator Putnam.
In that spirit, I think we should offer a tax on St. Thomas, just as a whole. Per student tax, and all that money goes directly to St. John's students. I wanted to thank you, Senator Fateh, for including the farmer lender mediation language in here. And it may seem a curious position within the higher education bill, but the farmer lender mediation program is within the University of Minnesota Extension, and it's an incredibly important program. And your commitment to strengthening it, keeping it going in a moment of great crisis, is a sign of your commitment. And I think that that's fantastic, and you are now an honorary farmer. I don't have the authority to do that, but still, you're an honorary farmer.
Thank you so much, Senator Putnam. When I was campaigning in South Minneapolis, farmer mediation was the #1 issue that people have been talking to me about, so thank you so much. Senator Farnsworth.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm wondering if somebody could answer, because I don't really remember, I know we heard these bills, the Minnesota P20 partnership and the student persistence grant. Is this new money, or is this funding a continued program? I think it's new money, but I'm not positive.
Thank you, Senator Farnsworth. Yes, it's new money.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. And I mean, this isn't a budget year. The state grant program is in, well, big trouble probably would be an understatement, but they're in trouble. I don't understand why we're putting money into new programs when a program that already exists could use those funds. And as you said, this is aspirational. It's probably not going to happen. And it's nothing for me personal against either of those programs. Well, I mean, I still don't understand what the P20 partnership actually does. But I think if I recall, they're kind of like a think tank that relies on outside donations, and they've been able to exist without state funds. And so why would we put this on the taxpayer? And I think the student persistence, those organizations also have existed on outside donations. And so again, why would we put that on the taxpayers of Minnesota? And so I struggle, especially not being a budget year. I really like subdivision 1, trying to refill the state grant program. I know Minitex is important. Direct admissions is already something that's in existence, so we're not creating something new and trying to fund something new. I was gonna offer an oral amendment to just strike those 2 subdivisions, but I know based on the majority makeup of this committee, I know where that would go. So I just wanted to talk to the fact that when funds are this limited, we shouldn't all of a sudden start creating new programs, because we never get rid of programs. And so if we create this, then we'll have a budget year next year, and if I have the good fortune of, or some sort of fortune to be back here next year, then they're gonna want more money next year, and they're gonna want it included in the budget. And so I really struggle with adding new money, especially in a year that's not a budget year. But just because I know it's the end of a long day, I won't offer an amendment and get us into a debate on that. But I think that's something that we definitely should look at probably eliminating from this. So, but I do appreciate the work on the state grant and the simplicity of this bill. It only took me 5 minutes to read. I like that. So thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you so much, Senator Farnsworth, for your comments, and I do share your concern around the state grant program. But within this bill, we've worked with members on this committee to figure out what their priorities were, and this was a compilation of also some of their concerns outside of the state grant and their priorities. Yes, this is also, again, aspirational, so we'll continue the conversation through finance as well. But I appreciate your concern, Senator. Are there any other comments, concerns, questions from members? Seeing none. Senator Kupek moves that SF 4638 as amended be recommended to pass and be referred to the Finance Committee. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? The bill is on its way to Finance. And with that, we have no further business. We are adjourned.